rebels, dissenters, philanthropists. Join me as I take a historical walk through the Porter Valley's non-conformist rural past. Okay, so I'm at the junction between Clark House Road, which is this, and Glossop Road, which runs from the city centre, and it takes you all the way to Manchester eventually on the A57. And that Glossop Road was built in 1820 as a turnpike road connecting the two cities. Back in that time, this will have just been fields and meadows, and the only two buildings was Broomhill, which was to the south, and which was originally owned by the Wickersley family and then passed through the Swift family, and then the Jessops family. We might catch up with them later on. And then to the north you had Broomhill House, which was built after Broomhill House and was called Broomhill because, well, it was on a hill. So, and this was back in the day when Sheffield was much smaller than it is now. It had a population of about 10,000, and the city border just basically was the city centre, and the border ran along West Bar. Crooks was its own little town back then. So yeah, when Glossop Road was built, there was basically the two houses, Broomhill and Broomhill, and both houses gave name to the areas that we now know. So this was the first building to be actually built after Glossop Road. It's a place called the Mount. Neoclassical building built around about 1830 by a guy called William Flockton, who will, I'll come back to him later. But it was actually 8 apartments. It was kind of criticised when it was first built because people didn't think that people would come and live this far away from the centre. And but it was filled with the Sheffield elite at the time, so steel makers, people who ran snuff factories, things like that. Believe it or not, it's the first time I've ever seen this building. I wasn't sure whether I was going to get in because it does say you can only see it from the the top level of the bus, but it used to be apartments, but now it's looks like it's turned into offices and businesses, which is good because it meant I could actually come in. There it is, that's to let. Yeah, it meant I could actually come in and have a look at it. Nice entrance. Shame it's a Wetherspoons. So William Flockton, who was mocked for the Mount because people thought it was too far out of the centre, was then asked to design this place, which is now known as King Edward VII School. It was opened in 1838, and it used to house up to 300 boys in the upstairs dorms. It was taken over by the City Council in 1905, and then it was merged with Sheffield Grammar School to create King Edward's. Not exactly sure I should be in here filming school, but there you go, I've done that before I get told off. So another one of William Flockton's. You can see it's the same neoclassical style as the Mount. This one I was familiar with, but the Mount I wasn't, and I wonder how many people are, because it is kind of tucked away, but it is quite a huge, it's like a smaller version of this, and I never knew it was there. Okay, next stop, the Botanical Gardens. And this entrance that we're stood in front of now, the main entrance, was designed by Benjamin Broomhill Taylor, who also worked on the Cutler's Hall in the city centre. And I do believe it's made from limestone from the Peak District. Anyone can confirm that. Right, let's go in. Cafe over there. Oh, I'm not sure that this is going to be open. What with the old Corona and everything. In the summer, this place is usually busy. People enjoying picnics and wine and just enjoying the little bits of sunshine that we do get. Yeah, it's closed. Corona. It's a shame. It's worth checking out. It's free to get in. Now we're probably going to see lots and lots of squirrels in here. So these were built in 1836 and then, as of now, housed plants from all over the world, and it was designed for recreation and education. In 1843, a hailstorm pretty much destroyed the whole thing, because it is obviously all made out of, pretty much made out of glass, so a nasty hailstorm came and destroyed the whole thing, and then it was rebuilt, and then it was bombed in World War II. So it's had a bit of a checkered history, and it kind of fell into decline in the 1980s, which is probably why I didn't come here that much as a kid. I can't remember coming up here, but I think the whole place might have been a bit run down during my childhood. But then it was yeah, it was totally all kind of done up. They got funding for it, and in 2002, I think. This palace of glass, outside is inside, the world in one place, and summer in winter. I do remember that from many years ago, so that has been there a long time. Apparently this place also used to house eagles, deer, fox and even monkeys. So this is the Swish Cottage, which used to be the main entrance. The perimeter of the park used to end here, but then it was expanded in 1898. So this is the south entrance, which is going to bring me out on Ecclesall Road, and this is when the park was expanded, and they designed this road to be so wide, 60 feet wide this road, just so you could see the grand gates as you approached. Back in the day there would be a tram that came along Ecclesall Road, which would bring people almost to the right up to the gate. So that's Thompson Road. That's the entrance to the Botanical Gardens if you're coming from Ecclesall Road, which is one of the busy night spot places in Sheffield, I guess. Lots of bars, lots of restaurants, big student area. One of the most famous Sheffield-based artists, Flem. Sees stuff all around the city. Sheffield General Cemetery. So in the early 1800s, as Sheffield expanded and people began to move to the city to work, and the churchyards were becoming overfilled, and there wasn't enough room in the churchyards to bury all the dead, and so there would be people, literally dead bodies in the street, and you can't really imagine something like that happening in Sheffield, but that's what it used to be like. So it was the landowning, rich, conservative population didn't want to do anything about it, so it was left to the Sheffield dissenters to provide these spaces, and this one that we're in now, the Sheffield General Cemetery, was financed by Thomas Ward. He purchased the land from a Henry Wilson of Westbrook Mill. So similar to the Botanical Gardens, whose land was sold by the owners of the snuff mill, that I did just go and try and look at, but couldn't really find anything. So they sold the land to create this Botanical Gardens, which was initially only by use to the shareholders, but then after just a couple of years it was opened up to the general public. So anyway, we're in the cemetery now, so let's have a wander. Now, I don't know where to go in here, because I don't know which one would be the most interesting path. And that looks pretty cool. I don't want to miss anything. I can't not go up there. So I'm hoping that we might come across some of the names that I've already mentioned today, but it will just be by chance, because I can't find any information of any kind of trail that will take you to these graves. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. And apparently a member of my distant family is in here as well. Burn, and chances of finding it is very slim. I mean, 2 years old and 10 months. 1835. Not sure when the last person to be buried here was. So obviously it was opened in the kind of almost the mid 19th century. What's this one? 1847. William Parker. Must have been an important chap. Well, I might come into a locked gate here. Certainly looks that way. Oh, maybe not. No, there's a path. And a bath. Not sure what this building is. Is it a school? Not sure. Okay, that's definitely a dead end. I'm trying to keep an eye out on the names on the gravestones, just to see if I can spot any bit of the graves of the people that we've talked about on this little vlog, and also see if I can spot Burnham. I seem to remember that there are, like, somewhere in here, a couple of really big stones, so maybe I've just not come across them yet. So Firth, definitely mentioned him earlier. Not sure if it was him specifically, but certainly the family. Nicholson. Not sure whether I mentioned them. This one, Jowett. Shirecliff House. Wonder how people came to be buried in here, whether it was only people with money. Nicholson again. Marples, Barber. Oh, someone's having a crafty little jazz cigarette around there. So a couple of weeks ago I was up here, 2 or 3 weeks ago or something, and I was trying to convince myself whether it was a good idea to go travelling again, and I've decided that it is a good idea to go travelling again. So at some point in October, so literally within the next few weeks, I'm going to be flying to Berlin, and then the plan is to go from Berlin to Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, Turkey and Georgia, and then decide from there what I want to do. So I didn't do much research. I literally decided to come down here at the last minute, so I didn't really do much research. So I have just been like kind of researching as I've gone along. But do come and check this place out because it's really cool, even if you don't know anything about the place. It's a really cool place to come and visit. Hello. 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 Come on. Come on. Walking on graves here. And now you get down there. Maybe that was right at the start if I'd have gone down. Yeah. Oh well. Sorry, Joseph Hall and John Keelan. Ooh, melon. Well, when you're presented with two choices, whether it be in, a park or a cemetery or a forest or a city, and one looks like the obvious choice, it's pathed and people are using it, and the other looks mysterious and you're not exactly sure what you're going to find down there, always go down that one. Look at this, Storyteller Circle. This is nice. Sit around here, listen to someone tell a story. I think I might have a sit down here. Come now. Be a nice little place to do a little acoustic gig. In fact, if I did do an acoustic gig, this is probably about how many people would turn up. So I'm still in the general cemetery. This is open space. Just going to have a look who this belongs to. Can't really make it out. Sacred to the dear memory of Margaret, the beloved wife of David Davis. Not the David Davis. So this space here used to be the place where the Peace in the Park festival, I think it began here. It was here for a few years anyway, before it moved to 1 year in Ecclesall Park, and then to its current home at Ponderosa. And also this is where Commotion Sound System, it's a portable sound system run by a friend of mine. He used to during the summer occasionally bring his sound system up here, advertise it on Facebook, and yeah, I used to bring my laptop and play some global treats up here.
Polish girls dancing to Polish music!
Good times. There's also where the Sharrow Lantern Festival finishes up, and there was always live music and stuff in there as well.
Live is a bingo, guys. Mango Rescue Team. Live is a bingo.
Well, that's it for this vlog. I apologise that I didn't really have a great deal of information about the places I've been to. Just snippets that I was finding out as I went along. I also did film this. I didn't film this in order of what you're actually going to watch it in. I filmed different parts and then I'm going to edit it all together. So I'm not exactly sure how that'll work. I've not done that before. But when I get to Berlin, I do plan to do some vlogs on the Holocaust in Berlin, street art in Berlin, Berlin Wall, and David Bowie. Yeah, so these vlogs that I've been doing around Sheffield have been basically just a way for me to get used to the GoPro, but also try and be a bit more confident on cam and more confident walking around the streets where people are looking at me saying, what's that guy doing with the camera? I think I've got a little bit more confident. Still, I think I still need to be a bit more comfortable walking around, certainly when there's more people around, but that'll come. And yeah, so the next one may well be in Berlin. So subscribe, and there'll be many more, much more exciting vlogs to come. So see you on the next one.
Yes.